So here we are, downtown Guanajuato, an absolutely beautiful plaza. And we have the Teatro Juarez, this world famous theater right here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I open up my camera app here, I'm gonna walk backwards just a little bit, and I'm noticing that in the bottom of that frame, there's really cool trees, but they're really not that interesting. I think we can pretty much say that the middle of this scene right here is the most interesting part of the picture. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna swipe over from photo, click on 4:3, change this to 16:9, and then grab that photo here. We wanna fill the frame with the most interesting subjects. So I really like that first composition, but looking at these columns here, looking at the way that this was designed, I'm sure that there's gonna be symmetry that we can work with. Now I might switch to my 0.5. That's just gonna show you a little more of this building. It's just a beautiful building. This is one of the most iconic buildings in Mexico. And I think maybe right around here is a great place to shoot. Now, if I walk to the left just a few feet, you'll see what I mean. The columns don't line up with the doors. It's such a small detail, but man, these details are significant. I wanna make sure that I'm perfectly lined up in the middle as well. I need to keep my camera perfectly centered and steady and straight on. So wait for those people that are walking through the frame to leave. And that's the shot right there. I think that worked really well. We're not gonna stop here though. Let's see if we can work this a little bit more. And I think we're gonna be able to do that by getting just a little bit closer on the stairs. And I think it's gonna work out well if we use our 0.5x, our ultra wide. What that's gonna do is make this whole thing a lot more dramatic. And as I get closer, I am gonna lose the sculptures on the very top here, but I think that's fine. This is looking more and more dramatic. Right about here, I think works really well. What else can we do? I think we have to get a little bit more creative now. We got the obvious shots and then we worked this a little bit better using that ultra wide, but I do think there might be more that we can do. So look at this here. Not only do we have windows that may or may not work, but we have these really cool sculptures in the windows. But how cool is this? So a couple things right off the bat. Yeah, my reflection. Sometimes I'll just wave at the same height as my phone just to give me some motion enough to tell whether or not my phone is in the composition. We have this framed up. Now, something that's a little bit distracting for me are the colors, right? So here's what I want to do. I want to swipe over from photo and click on those 3 concentric circles on the top right-hand corner. That's going to bring up my filters. So what I'm going to do is swipe all the way up here until I get to that last filter, turning this into black and white. The black and white just helps you kind of focus on the composition a little bit more. Last thing I'm going to do is tap on that sky right where their heads are as well. This way I'm not losing any detail in that sky. So we got that photo here. Let's walk a few feet over, see if I can grab that other image, and then we'll take a look and see what we have. So this is so cool too. I don't really need to do much. I kind of like to focus already directly on him. I'm trying to make sure that I don't go too far to my left to cut off those statues or too far to my right. I'm trying to frame them perfectly here. And I'm gonna grab this photo just like that. So how cool is that? We grabbed so many different types of images, and honestly, these last couple of images that we grabbed just in this scene, I think are the coolest of them all because they're more original, they're more us, they're more unique. Let me show you one more thing we can do that's, again, gonna take this a step further. I'm gonna open up the last image that I took, and I'm gonna click on that share icon on the bottom left. This is a little bit of a tip or a shortcut, if you will, to get it into the next app. So now that I clicked on that share icon, I'm gonna click on copy photo here. It just saves it to my clipboard. Now I'm gonna go ahead, close this down by swiping up. Now I'm gonna swipe down from the middle and open up one of my favorite apps, Snapseed. All I'm gonna do now is simply type in SN. That's enough to launch or at least bring up the icon for Snapseed. I'm gonna click on that here. Now it's gonna launch Snapseed, and when I click open on the top left, it's gonna say which images do you wanna open. Now, since I saved that image to my clipboard, I can just click on paste image. It's the quickest way to get the image into Snapseed. It works every time. Now we have this image loaded. What do we wanna do? Well, what was the focus? The focus was this really cool sculpture of this saxophone player. I want that to stand out. Now, what's gonna stand out? The brightest part of the image. And what's the brightest part of the image? It's the sky. It's not helping us here. Your eye is gonna go right to the brightest part of the image. So how do we avoid that? I wanna darken that down and at the same time draw attention to him by making him brighter. There's a really cool tool that we can use in Snapseed that is perfect for doing just this. I'm gonna click on Tools on the bottom here. That's gonna bring up a whole bunch of tools. And let me draw your attention to the Vignette tool. When I click on that vignette, I have that blue dot, and now I can place that blue dot exactly where I want the focus to be. Now I can pinch and zoom to narrow that focus or make it larger. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, just a little bit larger than his head. Now that we have that area lined up, all I have to do is drag down. That's gonna darken this. I think just around there is gonna work pretty well. And at the same time, when I swipe up, I can choose my inner brightness and now drag that to the right to make him just a little bit brighter, just a touch. I don't want it to be too obvious. Any edits at all should be as subtle as makeup. In other words, you shouldn't even know it's there until it's removed. Let me show you. If I simply tap and then let go, now you're gonna see a big difference, right? You see how your eye goes right to him. So one last thing we need to do before we forget is actually export this image. It's as easy as just clicking the word export on the bottom right. If I click that word export, it gives me a couple different options. The one I typically choose is just save a copy. I'll choose save a copy. This way you always do have your original photo. It's not gonna overwrite your photo. This is just a secondary version. How cool is that? It's so simple, it's so easy, it's so quick to get a shot that literally anyone will get standing right there, to a shot that almost no one gets standing right here. And the iPhone makes the whole thing possible. Now let's go explore some more. This video was a free preview of my Capture It All online course. In this course, you'll discover how to use your iPhone to literally capture everything that's happening around you. We'll talk about composition, storytelling, timing, photographing people, recording videos, time lapses, flying a drone, and so much more. If you'd like to use your iPhone to its fullest potential, please take a look at the full version of Capture It All. You'll find the link in the description right next to this video. So click on that link right now and I'll see you inside the full version of the course.